Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Gyle here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. Remember the 5th of November. Happy Bonfire Night, happy Guy Fawkes Night, everybody. If you've no idea what I'm talking about, commiserations, you're obviously not British. And I don't mean that culturalist in any kind of way. I just mean, of course, you can't join in the festivities if you haven't the foggiest what I am going on about. Essentially, Google is your friend, but in a nutshell, Guy Fawkes Night, Bonfire Night, is the night when us Brits celebrate the capture and subsequent hanging and quartering of Catholics when their only crime was to try and kill a few politicians. I know, right? Different age, though, and all that. Anyway, I thought we'd mark the occasion with a 5v5. Haven't had one of those in a while, and it's going to take place on Tabula Rasa. So let's go on over to the game zone and see how these guys are going to get on. I have done a few Tabula Rasas in the past, but I think it was the 4v4 version that I've done, and you can see that the extra player, I think, is sneaked into these two positions here. But anyway, we'll take a look at the teams. We'll call this Team 1 over here on the left-hand side of the screen, and this Team 2 over on the right. Going first at the top for Team 1 in baby pink, it's Vorlex. Pretty sure that's Vortex, unless it's his younger sister playing on a different account. Anyway, in baby pink, might well be with that color scheme, but anyway, she is going Aeon, opening first land. To the south, we've got Soviet Pride in burgundy red. He's going Cybran. To his south, we've got Kircher. He's going Pontiff White Seraphim, opening first land. Next on the list down here, it's Maverick in Hallie Orange. He's going his classic UEF, opening first land. He always seems to go either UEF or Seraphim. I'm pretty sure that's it seems to be his two favorite races. So I'll be able to shout at me if I'm wrong in the comment section below. And last but not least, down here in the bottom left-hand corner, it is the one and only Voodoo in mellow yellow, going Seraphim, opening first land. So that's Team 1. We'll take a look at Team 2. Up here at the top, we've got Untouchables in Elephantine Grey, going Cybran, opening first air, taking on board that engineer build capacity penalty. I wonder if he's going to be going for any kind of early air rush. That might, of course, just been a slight error building that first, but we'll take a look at that in just a second. And next we've got the indomitable BC Blackheart, already on the move with his ACU going towards the middle. Of course, there's a lot of mass there in the middle. Anyway, he's going baby blue UEF, opening first land. Next, my good friend GFY's Depony in, what is that, Vivacious Violet. How very effeminate of you, sir. And he's also on his way to the middle in Seraphim, opening first land, going second air. Next for Team 2, we've got Route 2342. What on earth is his ACU? He's also on his way to the middle, and he's going Aeon, opening first land, second air, and last, but definitely not least, way over here, BC's The Dream, Seraphim, Ferrari Red, and opening first land. So those are the teams. And what was that got popped? I wonder. Might well have been a scout just checking things out. BC Blackheart, the first to get his hands on the mass, but also, of course, the closest to it. The next person is going to be on the other side for Team 1. It's going to be Maverick. He just makes his way towards the aperture on his side of the map. You can see it's a fair old chunk of mass at all of these little apertures, these little pathways between the open river and the ponds. And you've got Titan Rex in here, you've got pillars. It's like it's mostly UEF. Actually, excuse me, I think they're Loyalist Rex. I'm talking complete garbage. Yeah, they're Loyalist Rex. So a mixture of what looks like UEF and Cybran technology. But anyway, got some T3 Rex in there, so plenty of reclaim to get going. Taking a look at the early play, Soviet Pride is going to be coming towards the river, and that does make a little bit more sense. You've got 3 players in the middle here, 1 to guard each aperture, each sandy pathway between the 2 halves of the map. But Team 2 aren't going for that at all. It looks like both the Dream and Route 2342 are going straight over to the cliff edge up here. And it's not a bad play, because they are facing off against Voodoo. If they can shut him out, keep him off this bit of land and push him back onto his side, he'll be fighting a losing battle right from the get-go. Up here, conversely, we've got Untouchables versus Vorlex. Vorlex not interested in haranguing Untouchables as yet, wants to scoop up all of this mass, which is not a bad idea. Doesn't want Untouchables getting his hands on any of that. First little bit of com-on-com action going down in the middle. It's Blackheart v. Kircher. Depony straight in there in the center and building some PD. That will afford him some pretty good protection. Kircher has started one of his own, but he's much more concerned with getting his hands on a fair share of mass, but that means he will yield control of this central walkway. Soviet Pride, however, coming in to assist. Down here at the bottom, though, we've got 2v1. Voodoo facing off against the Dream and Root. He's got the better so far of the Dream. He's down to around 7,900 HP. Voodoo on around 8,400. This land factory, a godsend that he managed to erect that in time. He's got an awful lot of Thans and Zuis mounting up. He's also got a stream of Zuis coming across the river from the main portion of his base. Dream and Root got to be really careful here not to stay stationary for too long. You can see Root taking unnecessary Zui fire there. And he's just literally sitting there eating it. Finally, he turns his attention back to this side of the map and gets his ACU on the move. But Root concerning himself with the T1. We see the Dream going after Voodoo, but so far Voodoo having the better of this exchange. And I'm quite surprised these two guys aren't just microing around T1 and focusing more primarily on Voodoo. If they can force Voodoo back into the water, it shouldn't be too difficult for them to dispatch this land factory. But I guess they feel they can spare one ACU for the spam and one for the enemy ACU, but it does mean that now both of them are not looking too good. Root goes into the red, in fact, 2,300 HP. Voodoo staying in this. Dream's got to be really careful here. If it looks like Root's about to go down, he doesn't want to get caught in the explosion. Root is backing up. What? Outrageous. Root goes critical, takes too much Zui fire. Dream's telling him to get into the water, and it looks like it took out Voodoo, but the double explosion caught BC the Dream in the range of as well, so all three of them went down, and actually that's gone very well for Team 1, killing an extra person, so it's now a 4v3 in favor of Team 1. A whole load of engineers hovering over the middle for Depony. In the middle of that exchange, we couldn't really pull away from it. That's where all of the key action was on the map at that time, but Depony has lost his little T1 PD that he placed in the middle. Blackheart has had to pull back up here to cover this area. Soviet Pride actually sticking together with Kircher, more in a kind of defensive clump here on this side of the river, meaning Blackheart's got free reign to move in some T1 around the edge, get a little bit of a run-by going on. Needs to be really careful, doesn't want this to go right into the back of Kircher's base, which is probably what he's going to elect to do. He won't want to tangle with Soviet Pride's ACU, and there's some pinging going on. That's going to be going down from someone on Team 1, concerned about those units making their way into the proverbial danger zone. Kircher out front, taking quite a bit of fire. He's down to around 6,500, around 55-60% of his HP. The pony with quite a few land units to assist, also with his comm in range as well. It is so hard to bag a kill in this area because these ponds next to the walkway are deep enough to allow his ACU to completely submerge. So it's not an easy way to finish off. It affords some interesting ACU on ACU battles, this map. But anyway, BC Blackheart managing to accomplish that run-by. He's got a whole bunch of these strikers into the bowels of Kircher's base, and now the build capacity is feeling the effects of that. They're trying to throw together point defense at the front, but they've already made their way past it towards the back of the base and are successful in stopping any more PD from being thrown together. And now Soviet Pride is about to get hit as well. 3 units of T1 and a T2 engineer getting taken out there, denying the completion of that Cerberus turret. T1 bomber in the meantime out for Soviet Pride, 2 of them working on thinning that out, but a nice little bit of work from Blackheart nonetheless. In the meantime, Untouchables has been trying to establish a base on this side of the river for Team 2, but so far has been unsuccessful. And now Vorlex busy constructing a little bit of a point defense creep on here. 2 Oblivion turrets in place, a 3rd on the way. However, the relief of the land might play tricks on him. He might want to think about placing that further up here, but Untouchables way down into the red, 2,400 hit points and falling, needs to back up and get back onto his side of the river. That is a lost piece of territory there for Team 2, and that's a real heavy blow, especially when you think it was a 2v1 down here, and 2 for Team 2 went down against Voodoo. So Team 1 already with the advantage, and now Fawkes has been successful at holding the top. These are two of the key places on this map, on Tabula Rasa, that really more often than not, determine the outcome of the game. If one team manages to establish a bridgehead or a beachhead, whatever you call it, on this side of the river, if you were Voodoo, or on this side of the river if you're on Untouchables. But Maverick pushing hard and fast right the way across on Team 2's side of the river. He's got a few units in support as well. Pony backing up, not wanting to get too bogged down in ACU wars with Maverick, who's got the stronger ACU at the moment. Blackheart moves forward though. He's got the T2 engineering suite on board. He's immediately starting to produce triads, and that should discourage Maverick from moving any deeper into Team 2's territory. Pony immediately assists Blackheart with construction of the second triad, and that is the Pony's land factory HQ. He's definitely going to want to hang on to that if it's at all possible. Maverick, though, very close to it, could finish it off at any second. He's also got Lobos nearby, and Pony manages to complete an Ilsheva, so that immediately gets overcharged by Maverick's comm, who then proceeds to finish off the HQ. That is a nasty blow for the Pony at the 10.5 minute mark in this one. It's an early point in time to lose your land factory HQ. He's got another one though further back here, so he was well prepared for losing that. He must have, I imagine he probably started that the minute that one up front came under fire. But he has got another Ilsheva further down here, and he's got a large gap that he's got to try and plug. Maverick able to now just pour units in through this aperture on this side of the map. And if they can't secure this, it means they can't stand any chance of holding on to these two bases now that Blackheart and Depony have expanded into. And that mass is going to be critical if they're going to hold off what's going to be a very tough game for them now that they're fighting from behind. Blackheart is going to transition to T2. He's got Riptides on the go that are currently slicing their way through Soviet Pride's Mantis, as well as Kircher's Thams and Zuis. Riptides, of course, a pretty good option when you're sitting up front here. They have excellent freedom of movement, good damage, excellent against T1, and they can go just about anywhere in this central region of the map. And now Vortex tac missiling. Where is the tac missile launcher? It's back here. One in the clip and on the way, and a second one ready to go. That first mass extractor is toast. Where have we got the next one incoming? It looks like it might be going down here. So Untouchables not only yielding the cliff on the opposite side of the river to him, but now under attack missile barrage as well. He's going to find it very difficult indeed to hold off Vorlex, so a lot of pressure on Team 2 here at minute 12. And as much as I hate to say it, it's going to be a steep hill for them to climb to get back into this one. Team 2 definitely behind, although Blackheart doing exceptionally well eco-wise, having scooped up the base that was directly to the south of them. That was Route 2342s, and then it was the Dream. I don't exactly remember which order they were around, but I think that's the way it was. And he's already well established, and he's also pretty darn good on the reclaim side of things. He's banked 16.5k. Kocha was getting a lot at the beginning as well, but he got around 5,600
under attack
in the end of it. Kocha looking quite beefy, looking like he might have the cannon on board there. 15,950 HP. He's got the T2 engineering suite, and he's also got the Chronoton accelerator, which increases the cannon's rate of fire and range. So Kocha going for a little bit of Rambo ACU action. Face off against a forward triad. The quick overcharge should finish it off. He strays out of range. goes. Blackheart going to throw an ACU upgrade together. Still alright in terms of spam. Pretty good land unit wise so far. And looks like Fawkes might have recycled that attack missile launcher. Guessing that his advantage will be over now. Untouchables throwing zappers together. It's an interesting choice. I guess there's quite a few buzzkills down here. Blackheart not one to neglect the map. Would have been aware of the barrage coming his way next. So Fawkes not able to get any advantage there. Decides to recycle that, which is a bad idea if you think you can't use it. You'd be tempted to hold on to at least one in case you can bomb out a buzzkill or something and maybe pick off a mass extractor again a little bit later. But Maverick getting some penetration on down here at the bottom. 14.5 minutes gone in this one. Blackheart backing up with the last couple of units that he's got in that area. And this could be very nasty indeed. Blackheart's got a few units of T1 PD scattered about the place. The pony, though, looking wide open as those strikers from Maverick pour into this expansion. A few THAMs sitting there at the ready. Blackheart brings in a couple of his own strikers as well, but it's going to take a lot more than that. See any gunships that can be dispatched down that way to deal with it. Soviet Pride with a little expansion down here at the bottom. And that's going to be welcomed by Maverick. It's going to be something that Team 2 would have to bust through if they're going to hit this bottom left-hand corner. Look at Kocher just standing outside, out front all day. Fire, absolutely brutal. Overcharge there, taking out a Rhino, I think, from Blackheart. And now some floaty, naughty from Fawkes, trying to get in around the back, but Untouchables has moved his ACU out of his core base to help his teammates defend the river. It's definitely going to be a welcome sight for Blackheart. But look at this. 5 mexes out of commission at the expansion down here for Depony. Both he and Blackheart trying to throw together more point defense. Hopefully there's an Ilshiva on the scene. I think that's going to be all they need to tidy this up, but certainly the damage has been inflicted, at least for now. Depony going to have to rebuild that. He's skirting around the 57 mass mark. Compare that to Blackheart, who's got an expansion of his own, 179 mass. That's absolutely outrageous. Eco, Maverick sitting on the same amount of mexes, pretty much. He's sitting on around 81 mass per tick. Really is why Blackheart's at the top of the leaderboards. Still Kocher roaming around the middle, just 6,200 hit points in the tanks out of potential 17,400. This is at least allowing him to scoop up a better share of the reclaim in the middle. He's up to 7,100, so he's gained a couple of K in that so far. But now we've got T3 emerging on the field for Depony. Otham's rolling their way to the front. He's going to want to give Kocher's ACU a bit of a wide berth. It'd be ideal if he could get in around here. Maybe harass Fawkes a little bit. Untouchables has got a bit of a reprieve up here at the top, which is a good thing as well, being this is ACU is now sitting in the middle. Blackheart trying to correct a few more defensives, is going to hardcore turtle mode up front. But this is definitely the weak point of the map for Team 2, and Maverick has made the transition to Tech 3. He's got a Percival inbound. Only throwing together a radar. He's also queued up a few T1 PDs, but he's not going to be able to complete that. That Percival will one-shot it There we go. Engineer out of commission. And that's got to be concerning Team 2. And it looks like Pony might be moving his Othams down to the south. He's got no other choice, really. Actually, no. Could be potentially thinking about a counter-offensive. You can move in here and cut off all of these reinforcements and then hope you get enough support from Blackheart, maybe in the form of some kind of air power. I don't know if any of them's going T2 air anywhere. They could certainly do with a few gunships at this point in the game. Percival continues its forward momentum towards the Bodhi's expansion. Once again, those mechs is only just completed, but Blackheart airdrops a Percy down there to counter it. So there we go, good teamwork there from Blackie. Maverick with personal shield on board and 16,500 hit points on the tank. Looking very strong indeed. Gets ready to defend against this Otham onslaught. Only question is he aware? That's Maverick's ACU. Yes, he is. So he's not going to want to emerge onto the beach in front of that. Risk just getting overcharged. Certainly he can pop down here and knock out this base. He can put some pressure on down here. Kircher still out front, has replenished all of his HP and gained some more. 28,700 hit points on that ACU. Very dangerous piece of kit. It really is so very difficult to get ACU kills against an accomplished player on this map while they're sitting up here at the front, especially if they're going Seraphim. Getting the nano upgrades turns into such a dangerous weapon. More TAC missile launchers inbound. It might well have been. No, it's not. It's a miasma. So Vorlex switching things up, going static T2 artillery. Something of which Untouchables doesn't have a lot to counter with. He's got one unupgraded Cybrin T2 shield jet in play there. It's not going to afford him much protection at all. A couple of dead factories further back. I'm wondering if that's down to that miasma already. Spectres incoming, but an awful lot of Sky Slammers in the area. They're going straight after the P-Gen, but nowhere near enough of them to take it out. There's just too much anti-air coverage. That miasma with only 2 kills to its name so far. Now goes the power generator though. So very nice work indeed there from Vorlex. Untouchables pinned into his corner. Kircher and Maverick looking exceptionally dangerous with their ACUs in the middle, and now Maverick has power shields to join them. More coverage potentially for those commanders. Maverick continues to push as well. Meanwhile, down in the south, but mostly T1 except for this one Percival that's having some issues negotiating the height map over here at the bottom. It's quite a complicated, convoluted ridge, that one. But those Othams indeed from Deponi side to knock out Soviet Pride's little forward base there. It's a good decision. Down they go. And the expansion down the bottom wide open, although T1PD being hastily thrown together there by Maverick. That's where they're deciding to go though. A plunging headlong attack from Kircher and Maverick straight through the southern aperture down here. Lots of Ilshevers, the odd Percival going after a few of the ponies. Often's been split off from the main pack. Once again, not quite large enough numbers though, I don't think, to cause any major headaches. Blackheart with a lot of T1 and T2 units sitting in the middle of the field, throwing yet another upgrade on his commander. Untouchables made transition to a T3 land HQ, but still under fire from these miasmas, of which there are now 2, one of which completely encapsulated by T1 power generators, increasing its firing potential, its rate of fire. Brutal situation there for Untouchables. And now we've got a trebuchet on the ridge as well from Soviet Pride, firing across the river here, straight onto the outskirts. How actually far can that reach? Take a look at Soviet Pride. That was its maximum range, really. And now some demolishers moving forward for Blackheart. He's got some cover for them as well. Parashield nearby. Just taking pot shots at Soviet Pride's second forward base. And those Othams appear to have made any major progress. Might have pulled forward, knocked out a couple of mexes and dropped back. Maverick now in place with his ACU. Discourage them from any more work down there. Instead, they're going to make their way back up the river. But we could definitely get some work done in here on the front now. 24 minutes 50 gone in this one so far, and that's a lot of artillery lining up on this side of the river for both Soviet Pride and Vorlex. So, very static game developing here, which kind of surprises me. Still a wide open space down here. Kocha is very far forward indeed. He's actually got a TAC missile launcher in place and is launching TAC missiles deeper into Team 2's territory, no doubt going after some of Blackheart's T3 mexes, which he's got down here. Blackheart's going to want to get some more TMD in place, but Relief of the Land coming to his rescue there, blocking that TAC missile off from reaching its target. Kocha switches it up instead for what looks like the pony. And indeed, those Othams made their way forward, took advantage of the fact that Maverick was further south with his ACU, sitting under shield coverage, not wanting to move it either for the moment. Be certain that the 4 Othams that are left aren't going to be able to cause him too many issues. This build capacity, throwing together point defense as quickly as they can. Ponies Othams beelining straight for that fusion reactor. That would be a critical kill if he can manage to get it, but he's not going to. Takes it down to around, is that about 40% or so, maybe 33%. So nice hold there from Maverick. And it's actually a nuke launcher right by it, which is near enough 3/4 complete, or about 2/3 complete. There's raining fire, artillery fire in the center of the map. Kocha with a whole load of Suthanus up there, and now these Serenities and a couple of trebuchets there from Soviet Pride lining up for what looks like a new bombardment on Untouchables, who has responded to the miasmas by building a few more shield gens. And he's even got a trebuchet of his own in place, but it's going to be tough for him to beat Vorlex in an arty war, considering he's sitting at 82 mass per tick against Vorlex's 201, so significantly better eco, as you would expect, for this territory being in his control. But a fat boy operational up at the front for Blackheart. He's putting that to good use, stinging Kocha's forward base at range. Definitely wants to take out the Suthanus of this artillery bombardment if he can. The pony moving forward with his forces, slaughtering Kocha's build capacity as they cross the river, looking for More mass to recycle. Another little tentative push from Deponi. I don't think he's going to get any traction with that. He could be able to take out this T2 mass point. I expect that's all he'll be trying. Definitely he's not going to get anything done against this forward position, especially not with Maverick's ACU sitting under shield coverage. He's going to want to move back before Maverick moves forward and overcharges. Boom. 2 down, 1 to join them soon. Strap bombers coming in over the top from Soviet Pride as well, stealing the kill. Almost expected to see a torrent of abuse to his teammate there from Maverick. Kocha forced back under the water though. Looks like he's close to death, but he's got so many hit points on that comm now. 36,000. He's actually sitting on 12 at the moment, so not as near death as you might first think. Well into the T3 air phase now. Blackheart stacking ASF, Soviet Pride stacking ASFs and building the occasional strap bomber as well. And of course Maverick building the odd ASF as well. But experimentals on the move this time for T1 up here at the top. And Colossus and Monkey Lord are set perfectly to tear a hole in what's left of Untouchable's base. And he hasn't got anything in there that's going to be able to stop that as far as I'm concerned. The Monkey Lord will be hard enough to stop by its lonesome, let alone a GC in tow. Certainly feel like this fat boy will be causing more of a nuisance himself. Needs to take out this little manufacturing hub up here at the front for Soviet Pride and Kircher. Clear all this out, cut off Kircher from any potential reinforcements, and be in a good position to bag a kill. But in comes the Monkey Lord. A couple of restorers to assist, or 4. A bit of anti-air fire, but it's all T1. That's not going to cause them any problems at all. He's trying to throw together PD at the front with his build capacity, but all of those engineers popping like popcorn up front as these 2 experimentals just stroll into the main base. Blackheart comes in with his ASFs to knock out the restorers, which he manages to do. And there goes what? Untouchables control K's all of his stuff, but I think he control K'd his comm with it. And he says in chat, I didn't mean to, he's trying to control K's base to not add extra veterancy to the experimentals, but took his commander down with it, and he was sitting right in the middle of Blackheart's forward base. That is not going to ingratiate yourself to these players. But Blackheart now has the same issue. Experimentals go straight after these high priority targets. Thankfully they're not sitting on top of each other. Blackheart making good use of the space he's got back here, spreading out these power generators. When they go pop, they don't take any more stuff with them, but that's so much damage being caused by these two. Finally, the pony turns up with an Ithota, and that fat boy now getting into range of the GC as well. Primarying GC first, taking it out of commission. The Monkey Lord will be considerably easier to finish off. There it goes. Now just the Monkey Lord. Ithota should survive. But nothing in this world is certain. Excuse me, that's going to die. No, it's not. That was very close indeed. 800 hit points left. Kircher moving very far forward indeed, though, taking a combination of Ravager and Fat Boy fire. There are your fireworks for Bonfire Night, ladies and gentlemen. Quite a pretty colours. But Kircher just relatively unfazed by all that incoming fire. Still sitting on 26,000 hit points out of a potential 66,000, but now has 2 Fat Boys firing on him, and even his nano armor, his nano regen cannot keep up with that. He's going to have to dip back into the water to take the edge off that fire. There he goes. And not before time. 11,500 hit points left on that at the point of submergence. But Team 2 have done pretty darn well. I say Team 2, I should say Blackheart and Depony have done pretty damn well at securing, or at least forcing out, Kircher and Maverick's units from the bottom here and making sure they get the full benefits of all of this eco down here. Now Maverick was constructing a nuke launcher earlier on, and everything has been kind of messed up down here. I'm wondering if there's been an attack that we missed. You can see there's a wrecked land factory there. There was definitely a nuke launcher nearly constructed, nearly completed down here, I thought. I might be imagining it or getting it mixed up with a different base, but it seemed like that was the case. Anyway, Maverick not in possession of one now, I don't think, unless I've missed it, which has been known to happen. Not seeing any nukes further up either. Excuse me, Soviet Pride has one, and the nuke itself coming up to around 66% complete. What else concerning themselves with nuke defense? It's definitely at that time, 35 minutes, you want to have one in place. And say that's almost borderline late, especially for a 5v5. It's not out of the realm of possibility for one player to funnel all of his eco into a nuke launcher. Having said that, of course, we lost the 2 players early on for Team 2 down at the bottom. Untouchables has been backed up against the wall for the majority of it and then taken out, and Depony and Blackheart has been tied up in the middle using all of their eco to keep these guys at bay. However, for the moment, looking like they're having some good success in the middle, punching their way through with a combination of Othams, Percivals, and supporting Fat Boys. That was the end of Kircher's and Soviet Pride's forward bases in the middle. Meanwhile, a whole bunch of build capacity crosses the river for Vorlex as he tries to hoover up the mass sitting at the top of the map. Blackheart and Depony going to want to stomp on that. They definitely don't want a proxy base being set up on their side of the river. There's a ton of experimental wrecks that Blackheart can make use of. He's now sitting at 527 mass. That's disgusting, Blackheart. How dare you? 49,200 mass in reclaim on top of it. Vorlex sitting on 28,000 reclaim with 263 is the next highest ecoing player. I'm blaming Kircher for having slightly lower eco. He's been up front causing damage this whole time with his ACU. Actually throws together a naval factory in that northern portion of the river. Soviet Pride getting in on the action meanwhile as well up here, dropping some more engineers at the top, but Blackheart moving in to finish off those engines with some Percivals.
Strategic launch detected.
But there goes the nuke, and it's going straight for the horde of Percys for Blackheart. It looks like Blackheart might be aware that they're coming this way, but of course the proximity is so close to that nuke launcher, they're not going to have the chance to get anywhere. That is a beautiful nuke from Soviet Pride, completely nullifying that attack from Team 2 and essentially saving Kircher's base. That could be a game-winning nuke right there. Hasn't even gone near anybody's base, but has stalled an attack that was squaring up to be incredibly dangerous indeed. Lex completes another GC and now starts work on a Tsar as well. Team 2 going to want to stamp their authority on the air game if they stand a chance of containing that threat. Now it's Team 1's turn to push back the tables a little bit. Chicken coming in from Kircher, Fatty coming in from Maverick. Whole wave of spy planes out from Blackheart, giving them a good idea of what's on this side of the map. Soviet Pride trying to catch up there with a band of ASS, but not managing it. And Kircher reclaiming Blackheart's Fat Boy. Now, of course, torpedoes on the Fatty, but he's tanking it quite happily. Fat Boy physically can't dish out enough underwater damage, but 2 more Fat Boys on Team 1 side of the river for Blackheart. And Maverick finds his Fat Boy tangled up with the Pony's Othams to just shred it. Must have popped out of a river or something. It's calculation there by Maverick. Fortunately, Team 1 Kircher having better success here against a horde of T1. No Othams in the area, and the Pony just detonates all of that. T1 doesn't want to offer any free veterancy there. Wise decision. Kircher steps out of the river, takes down one of BC Blackheart's forward Fat Boys, taking Fat Boy fire from across the river at the same time. Great Rambo ACU work from Kircher. Looks like he might be about to dip back into the river. But look at this, the GC has made it all the way around the back for Vorlex, and once again punishing Blackheart. Also once again depositing yet more experimental wrecks on his side of the field. So what he does, when he deals out in damage, he leaves in terms of reclaim. And Blackheart with a huge stockpile of mass, almost can't spend it quick enough. I'm surprised at the amount of wrecks at the back of his base. Not just the experimentals, also the T3 power generators, which will yield quite a lot of mass as well. Another wave of spy planes out from Blackheart, and another wave of cheeky engineers from Vorlex, once again getting hoovered up by this Titan and these Percivals. Blackheart really needs to get some engineers up here and try and re-establish this base if he can. Almost have another attack formulating here for Team 2. However, major experimental danger coming through the middle from Kircher and Soviet Pride. A Megalith and 2 Ethotas will potentially come strolling straight up the river, and the Tsar is going to really concern Team 2 now, if they even know about it. Untouchable says Tsar North, so they do now. And they just don't have a lot of ASF coverage at all. Team 1 predominantly owning the skies. See Soviet Pride tidying up the last few ASFs in the south, belonging to Blackheart. Pony tries to get a few more tanks in here, get up against this build capacity and knock them out. They immediately change tack and start working on point defense. Strap bombers come in over the top for Soviet Pride. Lots of build capacity getting knocked out here, but that chicken is very nearly complete. That is a nice little maneuver there from the Pony, slowing up that production significantly. And Voodoo, who's still watching the game, says use the Tsar to kill Depony. He hasn't got any anti-air. There is a lot of flak and some T3 anti-air dotted around for Blackheart, but Depony, apparently according to Voodoo, is wide open. His comm is there. He hasn't got any shielding either, and he's not near any water or anything like that, so he's not going to be able to duck in anywhere. And it looks like Vorlex may well be taking his advice, and that's a horde of ASFs he's got shadowing that thing as well. Pony with an Ethota in the bottom river. One single solitary Tham up here at the back for Depony, just chilling. It's probably the unit with the most sense. Having said that, he eats a bomb to the face. Strap bomb over the top. Revenant, little bit excessive. Just a little. so many Fat Boys in play for Blackheart. More engineers crossing again from Fawkes, trying to establish himself on that side of the river, but there's just so many ASFs out for Team 1. I don't hold any hope for Team 2 getting the the Tsar down before it kills off Deponi's ACU. And ACU well aware that it's coming. He's on the move with his comm, but there is nowhere to go. Doesn't have a transport or anything, and even if he did, that would probably get insta-shot down. He's been building some T3 anti-air at the back, but still a good 66% HP intact with the Tsar. Overhead it comes, straight onto Deponi's comm, and at 43 minutes 24 seconds, that's going to be the end of our Irishman. Down he goes, and onwards the Tsar moves and conks out right over the top of Blackheart's power grid, taking that with it. Brutal turn of events for Team 2. Blackheart now finds himself all by his lonesome with a massive mountain to climb. Yes, his eco is disgusting. Yes, he's got a ton of mass that he can spend. But look at these odds. He's got to fight.
Strategic launch detected.
He might have got somewhere, but a nuke is launched from Soviet Pride. Where's it going? Going straight down to the bottom expansion. I assume, therefore, there's no nuke defense in place. That's going to eat into Blackheart's eco somewhat, as it tears a huge hole in that expansion. That nuke is indeed going to connect. Looks like that's 4 or 5 T3 mexes out of commission, immediately dropping Blackheart to 445 mass per tick. Blackheart on the move though, with 3 or 4 of his Fat Boys. Flex forward base taking a kicking. That Atlantis that Blackheart built a little bit earlier, getting mixed up in some work. And is that a battleship or a missile ship? Actually, it looks like an aircraft carrier that Fawkes is producing there from that naval yard. As these experimentals push on, one chicken down, Megalith soon to join it. The Ion Storm just out of range at the front of Blackheart's base. Second chicken down, third chicken down. That's a beautiful piece of defense there from Blackheart. He's doing a phenomenal job so far at 4v1. Lex's forward base has been torn apart by all of this Fat Boy fire. But Soviet Pride completes a Soul Ripper, and this is going to be his Achilles heel. You can see he's trying to get back into the air game, but there's no way he can stop these flying experimentals at the moment. These Fat Boys' main Achilles heel. And look at that. What on earth? How did he manage to pick that up? Must have been Fat Boy fire. Excuse me for missing it. Fawkes caught in the corner. It's actually a down transport there. So he might have tried to pick his commander up. But unreal. Blackheart manages to take a kill there. 46 minutes in. Great work. That's going to alleviate some of the pressure at least. He's still got to face off 3 opponents though. This would be an almighty comeback if he could complete it. Maverick poised on 2 fronts, however. Gonna have to re-watch this replay and see what it was that killed off Fawkes there at around 45 minutes or 44 minutes. bug going to work on these fat boys. Taking some SAM fire. This is going to be the problem, of course. And now we've got a Monkey Lord at the bottom clearing up Blackheart's expansion. He's got, I can tell, about 6 T3 mexes and 3 T1 mexes down here. 6 or 7, something like that. T3, and he's going to lose all of them. Fortunately, he's still got access to a ton of mass. There's still that Tsar wreck in the back. Percher taking torpedo bomber fire as Blackheart looks to see if he can take out another player in this game. A little bit of a dent, but not a great deal. He needs a lot more than that. Use Aeon player, have Solitudes, this will be a lot easier. He's lying in wait with all of his Percivals and can drive Percher out of that pond, but I don't think he can, to be honest. Maverick's Fat Boy taking an outrageous amount of fire. Manages to skirt out of range. Just Engineers in tow, not quite so fortunate. This is major issues now for Blackheart. Flying experimentals, and that Soul Ripper from Soviet Pride gets a little bit too close. It gets a rank of veterancy at the most awkward time for Blackheart, but it still doesn't allow him to bag that next fusion reactor. Percher well and truly trapped. Can't come out of the water. There's just too many Percivals there. They just alpha him. Now the Monkey Lord comes in to try and cause some more damage, but there's a few Ravagers dotted about. Fat Boy fire finally finishes off that Monkey Lord, and there's a lot of pinging going on the upper strategic missile defense. It's loading very fast, says Voodoo. He's been keeping an eye on it, and there's a Soul Ripper inbound, and a nuke is ready. So this could be the end for Blackheart. In comes the Soul Ripper. It's going to be able to complete its sortie. There's no doubt about that. There's just not enough SAM coverage to prevent it. 25% of the HP gone already. In comes some Revenants to help deplete the shields. Down goes the nuke defense. Fusion generator is pinged, but he's not able to complete that, but I don't think it matters. There are no more
strategic launch detected.
And there goes the nuke, and that's centered directly for Blackheart's base. He insta-builds a nuke defense, but it's going to take much longer for the missile, and he hasn't got that long. The nuke is inbound, and what a shame. He did so well. He's not even bothering to move his comm. Even if he was to get out, it would be well and truly over, losing the front of the base. There's your bonfire, ladies and gentlemen. Blackheart with a valiant performance. And I'm going to have to check the replay to see how Vorlex died. It looked like he might have been trying to airlift the comm, and then the transport took some Fat Boy fire as it was taking off, maybe, or maybe Blackheart came in with a couple of ASFs or a strap bomber or something at the crucial moment. But anyway, 51 minutes, 11 seconds. Hope you enjoyed that. As always, more to come from me in the future, guys. In the meantime, stay well and stay safe. This is Gyle, signing out.